Donna, school's out and the kids are home for the whole summer.
Now what do we do with them?
We've got some ideas.
Keep watching.
Hi, it's Donna Robertson.
And Hannah with Fabric Café.
Well, you know, summertime is a great time to spend some extra time with your kids. And what I used to do with my kids when they would get out of school, they would be bored within about a day. And so I just learned that the best way was to be prepared with some new learning projects in a crafty way.
Yeah.
And I kept them busy all summer long.
You know, that's such a good idea. And today we pulled together some kits that would be perfect for the teenager in your life or the tween, you know, and all the in-betweens. So if you have some kids home for the summer and you need something to keep them busy, we've got some great projects to show you today.
Okay, let's get started. Now this quilt is called Sweet Times, and if you want to have some sweet times with your kids in the summer, you'll want to help them learn how to sew this super easy quilt. Let's put it on the table and take a look.
You know, Sweet Times is a very near and dear to my heart. I actually made this for my niece not too long ago, in the last couple months, for her birthday.
Well, that's
so
awesome.
I'm a big fan of this one, and I can attest it goes together really fast.
It is a really super fast one. And you know, there are side benefits to teaching your kids all of these different things like quilting. Do you know I taught Fran how to sew, and then Fran, as an adult, taught me how to quilt.
Oh, that's so fun.
I had dabbled with quilting, but she really did kind of get me on the road to a better quilter. So I thought that was
so
fun.
Trading off. I love that.
Yeah, I love it. Now we've got pieces and parts here, so let's share those with you as well. Every one of our patterns are designed in such a way and written in such a way that you're going to be able to get all of the information that you need so that the children or the young people can understand how to put this together. We have diagrams for them, and if they want to do the lap quilt, it goes together real fast. If they want to make a twin size, you just use 2 kits or 6 yards of fabric to make a twin size, so it's great if they have a twin bed, or even if they want to make something big like a king queen. Because these blocks are so easy, they can put it together in a hurry.
That's super
So
fun.
let's get started, and I'll show you how this works. So we're going to make a long strip piece. Just the long strips. We're going to put 2 smaller pieces on the large piece. We then cut our units, and that is your block. So we're going to put that right here. You're going to put that in this section, and this sewn to the sides of this make your complete block.
Ta-da!
Now that is it's just really super simple.
So easy.
Doesn't have a lot of seams that have to line up with an opposite color. So, you know, sometimes right at first you don't quite know how to do those things. So makes it go a little bit faster. And then you do exactly the same thing. You cut that unit, you sew the strips on the side, and voila, you have your second block. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, and I just love the fabric for this one. It's so pretty.
I do too. I mean, I can remember learning ballet when I was a little girl, and I had dreams of becoming this beautiful ballerina, except that I didn't take but 1 year of ballet, so didn't do good. So first of all, they're going to use the focus fabric in every one of the blocks. And then they're going to use the fabric number 2 for one of the sashing blocks. And then the second one, or the fabric number 3, will go on the second block like that.
Oh, and this, your number 2 and 3 as well, they've got this beautiful shine to them. And you can see like in the ballerinas costumes, they've got that shine too, so it just picks that up.
And what little
That's
girl
so
doesn't
beautiful.
like those shimmer shine?
I mean, I never grew out of that either, so I also like the shimmer and shine.
Yes, I do too, but that's why you caught it faster than I did. Now let's look at it all made up. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the way this turned out. It's just so soft and pretty and feminine and just fits the concept of the ballerina.
I love it so much.
The kit information on this one is 8023205, First Ballet. It is the Sweet Times pattern from the book Easy Peasy 3-Yard Quilts.
And the next quilt we have is Stepping Up. And Stepping Up is a very easy quilt to put together. All you do is you make 2 different strip assemblies, and then you cut your units off of that. So it just goes together in a flash. It's super great, and it has this super fun, like kind of stair-steppy effect up the quilt. So let's put it on the table and look at our fabric.
The fun thing about this kit is that it reminds me of something that Fran, as a teenager, would have picked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it reminds me of what I would also pick out as a teen, too.
Yeah.
I think if you have a teen in your life who is really artsy or just likes bold colors and fun stuff like that, this would be a perfect one. So we'll take a look at our fabric. So we've got this number 1, which is just so fun with all of these. It's got all of these really crisp black and white dots, but then it has this fun pop of color with these blues and greens and some purples in there. That's gonna go everywhere you see this square right here, this rectangle with the bigger dots. Then your number 2 is this black and white stripe that picks up that same crisp from your dot stripe. And that's gonna go in the other rectangle right here with this smaller dot is. Then, to set it all off and complement it all, we've got this beautiful black swirl that's gonna go on the edge right here, forming that kind of like step. And this one turned out so stunning. We have an image on the screen, and that black just complements those 2 colors so much, and it's so bold and fun. I mean, I kind of want to make this one for myself.
Well, you know, I like the fact that you've used 2 stripes in this quilt, and because of the way you turn the blocks, it gives it more movement because of that.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know the best thing about this pattern?
What's that?
It's free, and you can go to our website and download it. So it would be a great, easy, inexpensive project for you to teach.
That is so true. What a good point. Well, that kit information on this one is 8023204 Rad Stripes, and the pattern is Stepping Up.
Now the next one that we have is Garden Path, and I just put in a new garden this past weekend. I love gardens, and I named this garden path because of this beautiful floral, but we have some more fabric that's going to be great for it. Let's put it up on the table. If your little one is not into gardening, they might be into these absolutely adorable lions.
Yes.
Aren't those cute? I love those
them.
eyes.
They look so surprised.
Yeah.
I just love.
Well, that's because, you know, they're in the cat family, and those cats, my cats were helping me garden. And, you know, if they saw a grasshopper or a lizard, they were on it, just like that. Ooh!
I'm going to get that.
Now, this is going to be our number 1 fabric, and it's going to go in the block. And what is easier than cutting a square? So it's a great place to start. And if you'll hand me the cropping tool, I'm going to show you how easy this secondary block is. So the first one is definitely not difficult for them to put a block together. The second one is super easy too. They're just going to sew 2 long strips together, and then we're going to cut that unit. And when we cut that unit, we're going to put one this direction. They will turn the other one this direction and put a plain piece of fabric in the middle. So
How simple is that?
I know, it's just so super easy. So that is the secondary block, and that's all there is to it.
Perfect.
So the cute little lions are going to go in the big block, and then we're going to make that strip piecing, and this light blue is going to go everywhere that you see back here in the back. And I love the way you've got the polka dot, and then those eyes look like they're almost polka dots.
And they're the same color too. You got this nice crisp blue and that nice sweet blue for the eyes too.
It's such cute fabric. They're going to love making it.
Oh yeah.
And then the jungle. We got the jungle for the number 3 position here.
Oh, that'll look so good in the border too.
Oh, it will.
Very nice. Frames it out really nicely.
So I love this one. And look at the image on the screen.
Oh,
that
it's so
precious?
sweet.
I think it is so cute, and any young person would enjoy this, I think.
Oh yeah.
So this one is called Lion's Roar. It's 8023054. It's Garden Path from the book Fast and Fun.
Now we have bold blocks. And bold blocks is a really fun one. You have this nice big block here, and then to get this kind of asymmetrical effect, all you have to do is sew strips onto the side. It's very simple, very easy, and you could knock this out super fast. So let's look at the fabric we picked out. We don't have mermaids, but we have something just as magical. And in fact, this might be, I might be more into this one than this one. I think I was always more of a fairy than I was a mermaid. I was a really tiny kid, and I used to be called like a little fairy child because I would just like flutter around, and
I can see that.
get in everyone's business and all that. I still do that, but it's just
you
not
were
as coordinated as it was then.
Well, I was going to say, you were a dancer.
I was, yes.
Yeah.
I did ballet for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You made it a lot longer than I did.
Now, though. Not so coordinated. As I said, not so coordinated. So for this pattern, we do have some pieces and parts. And like I said, we've got some fairies. So first off, what you do is you cut a block. Super easy, just like you were saying in Garden Path. You can cut a square. You can get it done. Now, these fairies are directional, but that works perfectly with bold blocks because in bold blocks, you're sewing the strips to the quilt so you can always or to your block, so you can always make sure that your fairies are going the right direction.
There you go.
So let's put it on our quilt. So you put it here in your nice big block. Now all of our seam allowances are still on the blocks, and so that they're going to look a lot bigger than what they are on the quilt. But that's just because they still got their seam allowances.
But we hadn't sewn them yet.
Yeah, we haven't sewn them yet. So now I'm going to open my book because I just like to have a little reference too. After you make your big block, then you take a side strip. This is your number 3, which is this beautiful purple, and you just sew it onto the side. Now I'm going to overlap just a tiny bit since we have that seam allowance so that they all line up nicely. Then, after you sew that, you take another strip of your number 3, and you sew that along the bottom. So you get this nice square. And then you keep going with that same process. You don't have to learn anything new, which is, I like that.
Well, it just keeps it really simple for a newbie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, really simple for a newbie. Then you take your number 2 fabric and you have a strip cut from that you sew along the side. Again, I'll overlap it just a tiny bit. And then, same thing, take a strip of your number 2 and you sew it to the bottom. Dun, dun, dun.
That's so cool. Will you want to crop it?
Yes, please.
All right. I love those colors.
Aren't they pretty?
They are. And those look like a little magical garden that they're tripping through, too.
Yes, it does. I love it so much. And I love this dark purple really sets off those butterflies. I mean, they do have wings, but those fairies so well. And
Absolutely.
that's just so simple. All you do is just sew the strips on. Do, 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 do.
That's great.
And you're done. So first off, we have our fairies, and I just love this. It's got these nice little bubbles. Oh, there are butterflies on there. I wasn't entirely wrong.
They're companions.
Yes, yeah, they're buddies in the garden. So we have our beautiful fairies, and they've got lots of colors in them too, which I really like. It's got something for everyone. Then we've got our number 2, which is this kind of like rainbow leaf, which picks up all the different colors in the butterflies. I mean, I keep calling them butterflies and the fairies. You need to start counting. How many times does Hannah say butterflies instead of fairies? Let me know at the end. And you've got that as your number 2 on this beautiful lilac, which picks up some of these lighter colors in the fairies too. I did it.
There you go.
I did it at the time.
But a fairy makes a game out of everything, so it fits.
Perfect. You're so right.
Count the butterflies.
I love it. And then we have our beautiful number 3, which is a different leaf, and it's kind of a softer leaf on a darker purple. And that works so beautifully with your fairies, picking up some of those darker purples, and just really complements it.
And there's the fairy dust.
Oh, you're right. All of that little speckly stuff.
I remember my fairy stories.
And then we do have an image on the screen so you can see how it will look all made up. And I just think that turned out so stunning.
So sweet.
And I love bold blocks, how it has that asymmetrical framing. I just think it shows off a nice, big, bold focus very well.
I like that too.
All right, so our kit information on this is 8023203 Fairy Garden. Your pattern is Bold Blocks, which is from the Pretty Darn Quick book or available as an individual.
Now next up is Town Square. Now this one looks like it's going to get a little more complicated, but it doesn't. Let's put it on the table and talk about Town Square. Now I talked about earlier that the striped one and the stepping up that you were showing would have been a Fran quilt, but I think maybe when before the teenage years she would have been this because and it was inflicted by her mother making her bedroom yellow and purple and big flowers. I put wallpaper on the doors of her closet. I had so much fun decorating. And then when she grew up, Fran designed this fabric.
So you influenced her more than you knew.
I will take credit for maybe influencing her, but I can't take credit for the fact that she's uber creative, the most amazing woman. I'm just a little bit proud too. Okay, so this is going to be our number one fabric, and I think I love the name of this too, called Flower Power. And of course, that was the period or the age too when we were doing flower children.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, it's coming back.
Yep. So this is gorgeous. It's going to go in the number one spot. And if you'll hand me the cropping tool,
yes.
I want to show them exactly how we put this together. So that's our number one, and you're just going to do a block like this for your start. So we've done a lot of the blocks like this. And then you're going to take these two colors and you're going to create a strip piece that looks like this. So you've got the two long pieces. You cut them into units like this. Whoops, did I slip there? Like this. And you're going to put one on the top, and then you're going to put one on the bottom as well. So you can see here, and then you turn it the other way on the bottom. Then you make a big strip piece. So it looks like so. You sew two larger strips. You cut it into units like that. One gets sewn on each side. And so that's how the block comes together. And like I said, it looked a little more complicated, but it's super simple to do.
Well, and it gives that great like framing where it almost makes the middle block look like it's coming off the quilt.
Yeah,
It's
almost
a little.
floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love
neat.
that. And it's great with that higher contrast too. So we have our fabric 1 here, and then we have our fabrics 2 and 3. And remember, you always get your numbering by comparing. After you pick out the focus, then you compare these two. Lightest goes in the number 2 spot, darkest in the number 3 spot. And you know, there's a little subtle thing going on here too. You've got these circles in this fabric, and then you've got a grayed out circle right back here. I think that's really sweet. But now let's look at the quilt on the screen.
Yes.
Isn't that image fun?
Oh, it's so great. It's so, that contrast of the really bright color and the floral and the white is so pretty.
And it almost looks like those flowers are just floating towards you. Just really, really nice.
So great. And you know, this pattern, it is one of our probably easiest patterns to put together, but so dynamic. And we have a really helpful handout that has the beginner's guide to pattern selection. And if you want to check that out, it's on our free goodies tab. And we've got even more options on here of different patterns you might want to look at that maybe you already have, or you're like, oh, that one's gorgeous and you need to do that one. So check it out, free goodies tab, beginner's guide to quilt pattern selection.
That's great. And it is true. We have a lot of really easy patterns, sometimes to help you teach, sometimes whenever you need a quilt in a hurry. That's the place to go to find out.
Oh, for sure.
Now this kit is called Flower Power. It's 8023133. It's Town Square pattern from the book Easy Peasy 3-Yard Quilts.
Now this pattern is Topsy Turvey, and this pattern, it looks like there's a lot going on. Maybe it's a little complicated, but you're really just making one block and then you turn it all different ways, all topsy-turvy, so you get this fun, different effect, and you only have to learn how to make one block. So let's check out the fabric. All right, so like I said, this one is made with only one block that you turn all sorts of ways. So Donna, would you mind handing me the cropping tool? And I'll show you exactly how this goes together. It's very simple. First, you make a strip assembly like so. Ta-da! So you got a big long strip of your focus and a strip of your number 2, and you cut off your units. Then you're going to make another strip assembly with slightly different. It's your number 2 and then your number 3. You make big long strips, cut off your units, then you sew those two together. That's your block. It's so easy. And then you just start turning around. So right here we have it going this direction, but then right next to it, we have it and the block is just rotated. So it's so easy. You make one block and then you can just go.
Right.
Which is
a little repetitive, but keeps you really busy.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I haven't made this one yet, but the more I see it, the more I think, maybe this is next.
Mm-hmm. It is a fun one.
What do you think? What do you guys think? What are your favorites out there? What do you think my next quilt should be? Mm-hmm. I'm open for suggestions.
And what is your next quilt?
Yes, let us know. I'd like to know that too.
Have we shown you one that you haven't seen before that you'd like to make?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let us know. We love getting feedback from all of y'all. All right, so fabric for this one. We're not doing these moons, although they are adorable. We've got something a little different. And we've got pandas. Now, I know my older sister had a friend, even up until college and beyond, who loved panda bears. Mm-hmm. Just loved them. Had like stuffed animals and t-shirts and things like that. So, I mean, this can go for all ages.
They are great.
So first off, we've got our cute little pandas, and I like that they've got like different designs in them. So they're like polka dot and stripes, and then they're on a polka dot. It's just so fun having all of those different textures.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of interest, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's going to go in everywhere you see this gray block with the moons. So you'll have a nice big border of them too. Then we have our number 2, which is this little black square on white, which I like. It's adding just yet another
graphic.
Yeah, it's like fun. And that's going to go in your, wherever you see this white right here, framing that up nicely. And then, I mean, you can't go wrong with a black polka dot. So we have a black and white polka dot, and that picks up the black and white polka dot and the panda. Mm-hmm. And that goes everywhere you see this yellow.
You know what would be fun? If you take your kids to the zoo and you see a panda, then you take them home and they'll be even more excited about making a quilt.
Yeah, really hype up those panda bears. That's a great idea.
I don't think we have a lot of pandas in the zoos here in the U.S., but we have seen them at different zoos that we've been to.
Well, and we have an image on the screen so you can see how fun that looks. I really like that black and white and the contrast of the like black on white and the white on black with that blue panda bear. It's just so striking, and it really shows off the design of this quilt very well.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. And that big bold border with the pandas. Oh, I love it. Well, your kit information on this one is 8022-541 Panda Pals, and that pattern is Topsy Turvey, which is available as an individual as well as in the book Quilts for Kids. Now you might have a child or a grandchild who's actually more advanced than the kits that we showed today.
You know, we've got all these easy patterns, and one time when we introduced Time Machine pattern, if you've made Time Machine, put it in the comments, but we got a picture that a 13-year-old girl had made Time Machine. It has the most half-square triangles at that point that I'd ever put in a pattern, and she had made it and won a ribbon at the county fair. Yeah, so that is awesome. And if you need a little bit of help in teaching them how to do that, we have a great tutorial on how to do half-square triangles.
So if you have a kid who also is very ambitious like that, then just hop over to our website. We've got over 100 different patterns and some awesome books to choose from with 8 different patterns in all of them, and including the instructions for enlarging your quilt. So check them out. Find the pattern that works the best for you and your child today.
It's Donna Robertson
and Hannah with Fabric Café.